The January 6th committee says that they have sufficient evidence to criminally charge Donald J. Trump. And we have Elon Musk suspending leftist Taylor Lorenz from Twitter. All of that and more here on The Bald Brad Show. Welcome to The Bald Brad Show. It is Monday, December 19th, and as always, support the show by hitting that like and subscribe button, as well as, most importantly, just really quick, folks, on this video you're watching, right next to where it says Bald Brad, go to the bell icon and make sure you click all. Click that all, because YouTube is telling me you're not seeing my content, nothing's populating for you, because you probably have it as personalized or none. So go ahead and click all. If you don't have that bell icon there, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button while you're at it. And leave us a beautiful comment down below. It really does help force the algorithm to send our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel. Your help and support would be greatly appreciated. You guys are always rocking and cooking, so I appreciate the support you always give the Bald Brad Show. And with that being said, our lead story of the day is California Congressman Adam Schiff, who's a nutso, the guy's loony, said Sunday that he believes there is sufficient evidence to criminally charge Donald Trump in relation to his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Look, even if there was some sort of evidence to actually put this man behind bars, I don't think the evidence is sufficient enough. But again, this guy's loony, folks. This whole January 6th clown show, theater performance that they're pulling here is just ridiculous. It's a bunch of shenanigans. Schiff's dramatic statement on CNN's State of the Union, of course he's going to detail it out on CNN, came one day before the House January 6th Select Committee, to which he belongs to, is poised to release an outline of its extensive investigation. Sure it is. Report on the U.S. Capitol attack, which has been linked to 9 deaths, including the suicides of traumatized law enforcement officers. The committee is expected to use its last meeting on Monday to refer Trump, as well as others, to the U.S. Justice Department in relation to former president's attempts to reverse his 2020 defeat to Joe Biden. What I think is amazing of this all is ever since this man has gone down the escalator, they've been going after him. Literally anything and everything they've been trying to pull from government resources to put this man behind bars. And what I find astonishing is if you look from the Obama administration on the espionage, utilizing the IRS to go after political opponents, I mean, the Iran nuclear deal, I mean, you look at all this stuff, ATF, the Fast and Furious case, the Trayvon Martin stuff. Like, if you go down the list of all the craziness that happened in the Obama administration, of which we have the receipts for, the actual emails, the lying that Eric Holder did, nothing there, nothing whatsoever. And you look at Joe Biden, you're telling me there's nothing criminal going on with Joe Biden? You're telling me with all the evidence that we actually have, the video, the emails, the links, him saying stuff on camera, the quid pro quos multiple times, that there's no investigations, but they're going to continue this charade? Our government is so freaking corrupt, and you don't have to look any further than the Democrat Party. You don't have to look any. I'm not saying the Republican Party isn't corrupt in some way, shape, or form, but by God, man, that Democrat Party is disgusting. That is some deep, deep corruption. During this final meeting, the panel is expected to outline an executive summary of its findings, propose legislative recommendations, because who the hell is going to take recommendations from freaking Adam Schiff and the other lefties on that panel, vote to adopt the report, and then vote on possible criminal and civil referrals. Schiff is one of 9 members, 7 of whom are Democrats like him, serving on the January 6th committee, meaning 7 of the 9 are loony bin folks. They're crazy. They're psychos. The political referrals involving Trump are expected to involve obstruction of an official congressional proceeding, as well as conspiracy to defraud the United States. Oh, God. Conspiracy to defraud the United States. Unbelievable. Look at the guy that's in office now. If you want to talk defrauding the United States, look at the guy that's freaking in office. The guy that was sending our own petroleum reserve to a province in China that his own son has investments in. Yeah, no, don't get me going with all the other stuff from the Hunter Biden laptop in conjunction with the FBI, the DOJ is doing with Twitter of silencing political opponents, silencing a sitting president, right? Don't even get me going with it, folks. The political referrals involving Trump are expected to involve obstruction of an official congressional proceedings, again, as well as conspiracy. I just love that word. I had to read it again. Schiff told CNN host Jake Tapper, who's just a trusted news source, by the way, that he can't comment on specifics of any possible referrals. Because Adam Schiff's never been known to lie before. That's way out of his ballpark. The predicted criminal referrals are effectively symbolic. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm trying so hard not to laugh because this is such a freaking clown show. The predicted criminal referrals are effectively symbolic because Congress can't force prosecutors to pursue charges. Quote, I think the evidence is there that Trump committed criminal offenses in connection with his efforts to overturn the election. And viewing it as a former prosecutor, I think there's sufficient evidence to charge the former president. Tapper asked Schiff whether this was enough to secure a conviction. Well, I don't know. Mr. Former Prosecutor doesn't know if it is or isn't, but there's sufficient evidence here. Like I said, this is all theatrics, folks. This is all political. Well, I don't know what the Justice Department has. I do know what's in the public record. The evidence seems pretty plain to me, but I would want to see the full body of evidence if I were in the prosecutor's shoes to make a decision. But this is someone who in multiple ways tried to pressure state officials to find votes that didn't exist. This is someone who tried to interfere with a joint session, even inciting a mob to attack the Capitol, which is false. That has been proved false time and time again, but they're going to keep pushing it. If that's not criminal, then I don't know what is. I don't know. Why aren't you looking at your own party, man? Like, since its inception of all the criminal activity you guys pull all the time, but you won't investigate your own party. Asked whether he thought Trump would face criminal charges, Schiff said this: the short answer is, I don't know. It's just, you got, well, maybe, I have no idea, but you have this whole January 6th committee, you're an insane loony bin, and you don't even know this? It's, like I said, it's such a charade. It is such a joke. But it's not going to stop them from pushing this. Wait till he runs again. It's just going to continue and continue and continue. I mean, how, you have to really look back and just look at a holistic view of Trump in general. He's had the weight of the federal government and state governments, by the way, on him since he went down the escalators, and they haven't found anything. Let that sink in. There has never been enough evidence to indict this man, put him in front of a grand jury, or put him behind bars or anything like that. Out of everything that we've seen, can you imagine, just for a moment, that we had half of what the government's doing to Trump on Hillary Clinton or Joe Biden? Just the skeletons in that closet, folks, would come spilling out. Just half the effort, but they won't do it. It's amazing. It's so one-sided, and it's so out there in the open, and nobody cares. The Democrats don't. Literally, Democrats, people that vote that direction, don't give a two until it happens to them, and it will. It will happen to them. I'm telling you, when that shoe's on the other foot, they're going to try to kick it off quicker than you've ever seen before. That simply should not be the case, but I find it hard otherwise to explain why, almost 2 years from the events of January 6th and with the evidence that's already in the public domain, why the Justice Department hasn't moved more quickly than it has. Because they haven't found anything, Schiff, you idiot. But they're going to continue to push this. And it's not just coming from Schiff. You have the Georgia investigation into whether Donald Trump and his allies illegally interfered in the 2020 election is approaching a stage where charges could be recommended. You're hearing this could, I don't know, maybe. Like I said, theatrics. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's literally what it is. It's just a clown show. It's nothing burger. An Atlanta area special grand jury requested by Fulton County District Attorney is nearing its end after multiple high-profile witnesses offered testimony, according to multiple reports. The panel, which has the authority to subpoena witnesses and documents, but not issue indictments, is now putting together a final report which may include recommendations for criminal charges. A group of Fulton County judges would first review the report from the 23 jurors before Willis would make a decision about whether to pursue charges by impaneling a separate grand jury. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, nothing's going to come of it. Just similar to all the stuff that you're seeing, nothing's going to come up of it. The people that are the most loony bins have no idea if there's really anything there, but they're saying there are things there. Typical. Lindsey Graham, former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and Trump's former personal lawyer Rudy Giuliani are among those who testified before the grand jury after losing legal fights against subpoenas. Now, I think they would have shown up regardless, but they're trying to make matters hard on them because they're making life hard on not just all three of them, but also on the Trump administration and his kids. So make life hard for them too. Willis, a Democrat, began an investigation after the surfacing of a phone call audio, which we've heard this time and time again, and we just covered it with Adam Schiff, recording which Trump pressed Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger to find 11,780 votes, enough to reverse his election loss to now President Joe Biden in the state. Trump has defended the call as perfect and broadly rejected claims of wrongdoing. I'm not saying it was a perfect phone call. I'm not saying it was a little suspicious. That's not what I'm saying. But for you to just say, hey, find 11,780 votes, it's not like he's saying, hey, go create them. I mean, you have to read into that. And again, those that are going after Trump are going to read into it in the way that they want to read into it of this man's criminal. He's telling them to create 11,780 ballots and bubble them in. But what's amazing about this, they're going to do an investigation on a phone call, but they're not going to do an investigation of what took place during the actual election where you had a dude that has a cognitive mindset of a gnat sitting in his basement and somehow winning the election. Even though there's actual records that show that people voted from places that don't physically exist. They're out in the middle of the desert. They're literally properties that where a freeway is built. There's dead people that voted. There's some shady business going on. They're not going to look at that, but they're going to look at this. Little corrupt? Just a little bit. The CNN report said the prosecutor's investigation has expanded to examine election fraud claims made to state lawmakers and alternative electors' schemes, efforts to gain unauthorized access to voting machines, and threats to election workers. These alternative electors, along with Giuliani, have been informed that they are targets of Willis's investigation. But like I said, they're not going to go after anything else, part of the Democrat side of stuff. It's just all GOP. GOP officials have insisted the court filings that they did not break any laws and signed certificates declaring themselves as Trump electors to pave the way for Trump had legal challenges in Georgia managed to overturn the results. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming out here. It's a theatric. It's all smoke, no fire. But let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I have a feeling you're all siding kind of where I'm at on this. It's a nothing burger. It's theatrics. Can't wait for it to be done. When he runs in 2024, there'll be more. Trust me, folks. Moving into our next story of the day, if you haven't already supported us, hit that like and subscribe button and double check to make sure that bell icon is clicked at all notifications, because YouTube is saying that is why you're not seeing our content. That is why we're supposedly not being shadow banned and all this other stuff. Just make sure that's there. Hit that like, subscribe, as well as a comment down below. Do it all, folks. You're amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Our story here is Twitter CEO Elon Musk suspended left-wing Washington Post reporter Taylor Lorenz on Saturday night after saying last week that her shameful behavior would not be tolerated on the platform in the future. Now, here's the thing. I don't like censorship at all. I think you should literally be able to do almost anything. Granted, it kind of seems like what she did was post somebody's personal information or somebody's private information on there. That I'm not for, because you have psychos out there in the world that will literally go kill you. So that part I am not for. But for the most part, I am really for you just saying anything and everything and just getting away with it. Even if I don't like it, I think you have the right. But this lady is nuts, you guys. And you've heard her name before because she went after libs of TikTok. We'll get into that in just one moment. Lorenz claimed in a blog post that she received zero communication from the company on why I was suspended or what terms I violated. Interesting. God, it's so amazing how now when the same stuff that was happening to conservatives for literally like a decade is now happening to them, they're all up in arms about it. Well, I didn't get any communication. Yeah, either did Steven Crowder, Charlie Kirk, a lot of people, Jordan B. Peterson, a lot of people didn't receive any communication. They just had their account suspended with no actual notice as to why. Join the club, lady. She suggested that she was suspended because she tweeted at Musk asking him for a comment on a story. This is how this is like when somebody does something and then they don't actually point to the very thing that they did. They'll point to something else that happened that was kind of around the very thing they did, but it's not something actually enough to get them in trouble. This is what's going on here. Well, I just asked them for a story. No, you didn't. You freaking liar. No, you didn't. Never once in my 13-year career in social media have I received a single terms of service or community guideline violation. That doesn't mean you never did anything wrong. You just had a bunch of lefties that supported you that were willing to back you up every time you did something wrong. She said this. She said, Twitter has served as an essential real-time news source and played a crucial role in the journalism world, but Musk's arbitrary suspensions of journalists who report on him, should worry anyone who values free speech and expression. The popular Twitter account, Libs of TikTok, posted a screenshot of Lorenz's account being suspended. This is what Libs of TikTok said. Taylor campaigned Twitter to ban me multiple times. She has also campaigned Substack and Shopify to ban me and complained when IG and Facebook gave me my account back. I have zero sympathy. As do I. This is called karma. And karma just smacked you right upside the head. Hard. On Friday, Musk responded to a tweet from Aradana Jacob, I think. I'm probably butchering that first name. Wrote, quote, I'm not famous and I wasn't a public figure either when Taylor Lorenz asked for my address. said it wasn't for publication, and then proceeded to dox me in the New York Times when the address she had assured me wasn't going to publish. The article was shared many times on Twitter. So she's a liar. She's crazy like Schiff, and she's a nutso leftist progressive activist that pretends to be a journalist. Musk responded to the tweet saying, such shameful behavior will not be tolerated going forward. Good. I mean, and this is somebody that had their son basically attacked, meaning Elon Musk's son. And you have these journalists that are trying to publish non-public information, meaning private data about his plane and his whereabouts, which is not allowed because people, like I said, are nuts. They will go kill people, especially those leftists. There's a reason why Musk went on Twitter and said, if I die, I did not commit suicide, right? Basically saying if something were to happen to me, it's not me, it was some other, whether it's the government, whether the progressive left, the Democrat Party, somebody targeted him and killed the man. So that's why I don't want people's public information out there. That's why I'm thinking this has some pretty bad ramifications. But you also kind of roll into some other spheres where people are going to do what they want to do anyways, regardless of whether you posted something on the internet or you didn't post anything. But you don't want to make life easier for them by giving them the direct location of where somebody's at that they hate, that they want to kill. So that's what I don't like. While many conservatives typically oppose online censorship, it seems as though there was a near unanimous consensus from the right side of the political spectrum that this was not a typical censorship case, which is kind of where I'm in line with as well. Podcast host Tim Pool tweeted Taylor Lorenz finally got suspended for all the awful things she's done. And she's done a lot of awful things. This lady's crazy. Banning Taylor Lorenz is the best thing Elon Musk has done for this website, said digital strategist Caleb Hull. Elon Musk decided to stop entertaining the liars on the far left. Good. Written Ian Miles tweeted, we need more of this. These people will stop at nothing to destroy you and what you stand for. You also had another political commentator tweeting, was out with friends and then checked in to see this. Is this what people mean by a nightcap? I don't know what nightcap is. There's so much lingo now, you guys, with these like people that are younger than me. I can't keep up with it. But on one end, I'm glad that she got suspended because she did do something wrong. But I think based on her behavior before of releasing people's private addresses to the New York Times to be posted for people, I think should have been suspended before. But let me know what you think about this because it's a fine line. On one end, we're saying that we're force free speech. And then on the other end, we're technically not, right? If we're saying that you can't post somebody's private information, which would be speech, then are you actually for free speech? And this is kind of the ultimatum that we're always in. How far is too far? What's allowed? What isn't allowed? And then you kind of put yourself in a tough situation if you're trying to debate somebody, because how are you saying you're for free speech when you're not for somebody putting somebody's private address out there? So this really turns into more of a long form conversation, but let's have that conversation in the comment section below. Make sure you have that bell notification icon clicked as all notifications. I'm going to be beating that with a dead horse to make sure that hopefully we're all set up here to correlate those subscribers to viewerships, as well as leaving us a comment if you haven't already. And folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on The Ball Brad Show.